What's going on, family? Welcome back. Happy 2025 again. Like I said, we're gonna focus on pouring into you guys based on my own experiences. And today I wanna talk about the 5 things I look for when hiring a lawyer. All right, so I've been through a few and I've been dealing with this for the last 5 years and I've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars in attorney's fees. I can pull up the receipts, I'm not playing. I've spent 6 figures in lawyer fees over the last 5 years, just getting through the divorce and these ongoing custody battles and disagreements and all this other weirdo stuff, all right? So let's get right into it. There's no order for this, but these are 5 things I want you guys to look for. So for me, the first thing I look for when looking at an attorney is cost. And hear me out on this. You get what you pay for when it comes to family law attorneys. You literally get what you pay for. You can get with a high profile attorney with a $550 billable hour, hourly billable rate and all of that, or you can get with somebody that's super cheap, $125 an hour. You get what you pay for, all right? But one thing I want you guys to know, we as men, we're always looking for a deal. We're looking to negotiate. We're looking to try to consolidate finances and save money and do all the things. We do this a lot, right? But when it comes to family law, when it comes to dealing with attorneys and all of that, don't fuck around with trying to say, oh, let me give you $5,000, $6,000 and handle my whole case for me. That's not gonna work out well. And let me tell you why. Let's just say you pay a lawyer $5,000 to handle your case end to end. That lawyer is gonna be incentivized to spend as little time as possible on your case to make it profitable. Okay, so if you gave them $5,000, they're probably going to want to spend no more than 5 hours to 10 hours on your case. So that way, hey, if I only spent 5 hours on this man's case, then I just made $1,000 an hour. Oh, okay, all right. I had to spend 10 hours on this man's case, so I was able to bill $500 an hour for that, right? That's their business model. So you don't want to jump in line and do something like that, because it ain't gonna work out in your favor. You want your lawyer to spend as much time on your case as possible. So you wanna come up with a billable hour rate that you guys can both agree to, that you can afford, right? Like, what's your burn rate? And with that being said, they're gonna be more incentivized to spend more hours on your case, therefore getting your shit done. Because that's what you're paying them for, right? You don't wanna keep sitting up here revisiting the well, pouring into these guys and not getting shit done, all right? We got that down. So the number 2 thing I look for is familiarity in the court building that we're dealing with, okay? Let me explain. By the time you're looking at this video, you're probably like, damn, I got a court hearing coming up. I gotta go to this court building. I gotta go to this department at this time. And I need some legal representation to help me because I don't know what the fuck is going on, right? All right, cool, great. But one thing you need to do is when you're looking for that lawyer is understand if that lawyer works in that court building on a regular basis. Does that lawyer know the judges in that court building? Do they know the clerks? Do they know minors counsel or the guardians or the children's, lawyer or whatever the case is, right? Who do you know in there? How often are you in there? How many cases have you tried there? I need to understand if you really know the ebbs and flows of this particular court building, because every court building is different. The judges are different. They sway different ways. You need somebody that's very familiar with that court building and they know how to move and they can give you the right recommendations for what you should be doing based on your particular scenario in that building, all right? Don't go dealing with somebody like I did. Like my last lawyer before my current one was based out of a different county, and they used to come to this court building that they were not too familiar with and deal with all the nuances that happened in that court building, and it didn't pan out in my favor because they were trying to sit there and figure that shit out along with supporting my case. I didn't like that at all. So there was a whole year back and forth and me basically banging on them saying this is what I need, but them turning around and not really understanding how we go about it, and then basically saying, well, we can either do this way or do that way. No, I'm paying you for your expertise. Okay, so I need to know. And that's the same thing. Like, I'm not gonna sit up here and hire somebody in a different field that don't know what I'm doing for the position that I'm hiring for. Like, if I'm gonna put you in this environment, you need to already be in this environment, and then I need to consult with you, because that's basically what it is. This is consulting. I need you to go in there and represent me on this. I don't want you to pull up, learn the law of the land and bill me for all of that shit and then figure out, okay, this is what we need to do. Nah, I done spent the gang of money on you educating your motherfucking ass. Nah, we don't need to do that, all right? So once we got that down, great. So cost, familiarity, right? The third thing that I look for is business structure for the lawyer. And nobody really talks about this, so let me speak on it right now. And it's important. So the business structure for the law office, right? Is it one lawyer? Is it two lawyers and a paralegal? Is it one master professional lawyer with a bunch of associate attorneys, that are in the law office with a team of paralegals and all of that? We need to know this. Why do we need to know this? Because there's a lot of times you'll sit there and have a consultation with the lead guy and get the warm and fuzzies and fill out the paperwork and pay your retainer and do all of that. And the next thing you know, you turn around, the next day you're getting a phone call from an associate attorney working your case. And then in the back of your mind, you'll be like, oh yeah, well, this associate attorney must be just gathering information, doing this, that, and the other. Nah, man, that's paralegal work. They're doing that shit because you've been delegated to that associate attorney and they're gonna sit up there and get your ass fried in court. Okay, that's not the person you hired. But when you go through the paperwork and you sign all that shit, it's all in there. All the legal jargon is in there and they're gonna fucking delegate your shit off. So you need to be aware of that, especially when it comes to these high profile attorneys, because their name constitutes like the rate in which they deserve, right? But then they'll bring in all these lower tier associate attorneys and then you'll have to go out there and go deal with them. And that happened to me on my first attorney. I had a great conversation with the lead guy. I felt that he was gonna represent me well and get it done and be swift. And then the very next day after I paid my retainer, I started getting calls from two different associate attorneys. And so my first court date, it was about temporary support and custody, and I got washed on the support side. The custody, the only reason I got saved was because the judge was like, well, the law is the law, and no matter what lawyer you got. But since your lawyer don't know what the hell it is she's talking about, you're gonna suffer as a result. So I ended up taking a big hit financially because my associate attorney didn't know what the hell she was talking about. She's a family law, family custody person that had to talk about money. And she didn't know nothing about that. So she was trying to do some back of the hand, back of the napkin stuff. And I ended up getting washed because of that. And we had to go back and it's been an ongoing battle since then. So be very aware of the business structure of what they're doing there, right? Okay, cool. The fourth thing that I look for when hiring a lawyer are reviews. Google reviews, Yelp. I look on a website, I think it's called Avvo. AVVO, and it's really for lawyer reviews and all of that. I jump on there and look at the reviews and take that with a grain of salt too, right, y'all? Y'all know how humans are. Y'all know how people are. They're quick to jump on when something ain't right, but they real slow to give you your praise when you 5 stars, okay? So most times when you look on reviews online, it's probably gonna be a diss and a knock at the law office for whatever reason. But one thing you need to pay attention to are the patterns. Is everyone complaining about the same consistent issue? Or is it just people just not happy with the outcome of their own case and whatever, right? But if everyone's saying, oh, this person is bad, when it comes to communication, or this person didn't really understand my case well, if everybody's saying the same thing, 9 times out of 10, it's probably true. You know what I'm saying? So be aware of that. But definitely before you sit up here and sign, an agreement and pay a retainer and have them represent you, look up the reviews online. And that'll help you, make a determination for what to expect as well. And the fifth thing, number 5, the fifth thing I look for when hiring a lawyer, and I've learned this like recently, you know what I'm saying? So this is a jewel, I hope y'all catch it. Pay attention to the personality of your lawyer. Pay attention to the personality of your lawyer, okay? So you don't want to deal with a lawyer that's super nice, bubbly, happy-go-lucky and all of that, man. That's not going to help you. You kind of want somebody that's more of like a pit bull, very aggressive, very stoic, very straight to the point, and they're very clear about the level of expectation that you should expect from them in your case. So going through all my attorneys and the hundreds of thousands of dollars that I've spent, one thing that I've learned through this whole deal is that they are a consultant, all right? And they are a tool. And you need to leverage them as a tool, a professional tool that can do a specific job for you, okay? They're not your fucking therapist. They're not your fucking friend. They're not a shoulder for you to vent on and all of that. Fuck all of that. They're gonna charge you for all of that anyway. If you really need to get it off your chest, call your mama. Call your therapist, call your brother, call the homies. You know what I'm saying? Do what you gotta do there, but don't do that with the lawyer. It's not gonna help. You know what I'm saying? So pay attention to that. Also, you want someone who's very aggressive because they're not gonna sit there and kiki with opposing counsel. You know, because they'll sit there and meet and confer for hours and hours and bill your ass for having conversations about bullshit and y'all ain't getting nothing done. That has happened to me before, where I got opposing counsel and my lawyer going back and forth, and they're fucking high-fiving and buddy-buddy in the court building, and I'm like, damn, when am I gonna see my kids? Like, what's going on? So fuck all that. You know, get you somebody that's in there to do a job and ain't playing and ain't looking to make friends, not even you. Like, when I had a consultation with my current lawyer, she wasn't trying to be my friend or none of that. Matter of fact, it seemed like I was annoying her over the fact that I was even calling trying to get some help. And she was very straight up and transparent with me. What is it that you want? What is your goal? And how much are you willing to spend for that goal? Because this shit ain't cheap. You know, like if you're thinking you're gonna spend X amount of dollar, well, let me go ahead and readjust your thought process on that. And let's readjust and let's have a level set of expectation. These are the kind of things you need to look out for, all right? So just to recap real quick, all right? Cost, how much they charge them. You get what you pay for. Don't try to do that up front. Let me give you 5, 10 bands and handle my whole shit. It's not gonna pan out well for you, brother. 2 is gonna be, you know, what are we saying, number 2? Familiarity. Do you know the court building? Do you know the judges? Do you know minors counsel and everybody that's up there? Do you know the flow of the court? You know, and it's 3, business structure. Who am I gonna be dealing with? Am I dealing with you straight up, you and the paralegal? Or am I gonna be dealing with an associate attorney? Who am I dealing with? Who's gonna show up when it's time to represent in front of court? Is it gonna be you or is it gonna be somebody else? That's gonna help me determine who I'm giving my money to. I need to know. You know, number 4, reviews. Yelp, Google reviews, Avo, whatever you find on the internet. Figure it out. You know what I'm saying? Definitely want to do that. And then 5, personality. Is this person a pit bull? Are they stoic? Are they going to sit there and kiki with opposing counsel? Do they, you know, are they going to be very aggressive with the judge? You know, are they going to really drive this shit home for you? Are they your true representation? These are all the things you need to look out for, or just the top five, my top 5 that you need to look out for when hiring a lawyer, okay? If you have any questions, concerns, leave me in the comments below. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys, man. Let's get ready for the next one, all right? I'll holla at y'all.